What's up, guys? Dustin you here, and NHL 20 is out. Oh yes, I'm very excited for the new features, and yeah, I want to walk you guys through some of the new stuff. That you can see there was a big deep dive, but you know, I kind of want to just like walk through it with you guys. You know, we'll check it out together. So, yeah, I'm just kind of setting it up. I'm gonna be Detroit. We're gonna walk through this. As I set this up. Personally, there's going to be kind of like a new franchise setup for videos on the YouTubes here. So just so you guys are aware, I'm going to be streaming franchise mode probably once a week. And then I will be cutting that up and putting it on YouTube. So if you guys miss the Twitch stream, it'll be on YouTube split up as it normally would be. But anyways, let's get into the settings. And man, there's some cool stuff they've added actually. So new settings, so right here we got auto owner mode. So the setting allows the CPU to control all aspects of owner mode for the team, including finances, budgets, upgrading, and maintaining facilities. There's actually like a sub option. I'll show you guys in a sec here. So you can turn this off if you want them to manage all the finances and budgets, and then all the facilities, because the bathrooms are always destroyed after the game. Absolutely destroyed. There's also a change and I guess an addition as well. So head coach edit lines. Before it used to be assistant coach edit lines, because basically you were the GM / coach in previous franchise modes. So basically it just turned into head coach edit lines, and this is based on the new coaches that you can hire and fire. You also have the auto coach management. So this basically means that somebody that's not you, I don't know, maybe your assistant GM, I'm not too sure. Basically, the CPU will hire and fire coaches for the team. I don't know why you'd want to do that, but you can turn it on if you want. And also for you fantasy draft guys, I'm not going to jump into it because I don't really do fantasy drafts myself. But they added a add contract years setting for expansion custom rosters flow. It's a lot going on there. But yeah, let's jump into the kind of like sub settings, because yeah, there's some stuff that you can change with the auto owner mode. All right, so we're going to jump into rules and settings. They are just in the quick settings. There's quick settings and advanced settings. So in the quick settings, we got a auto save on and off option. I think it was kind of always on before. I don't know, I've never seen this option, but it might be new, it might not be, I don't know. It's the first time I've noticed it. Down here again, the auto coach management, if you want just some dude to hire and fire for you. Under advanced settings, so if you go to the advanced settings tab, one of the cool new things they added was sim engine scoring. So if you want sim engine to be a lot higher, you can actually get that. You can get more points out of guys. And I believe they get up in like the 120 mark-ish for the top end. With the new coaching feature, there is a head coach firing pop-up. So if one of the other teams in the league fires their coach, you will get a notification. There's also a new blockbuster trade alert, so if there's a massive trade that happens within the league, you will be notified. All right, so now that our franchise is all loaded up, I'm going to show you guys that the auto owner mode setting that's in here. So you have to go into the rules and just scroll down a little bit. And it should be right here. So auto owner mode. So if you turn that off, it turns off auto finances and auto arena maintenance. So you can actually split those up if you wanted to. So if you turned it on, you could turn off auto finances. You could turn that off if you like to do the finances, or you could turn off the maintenance if you don't want to do that. So personally, I'd probably turn off the maintenance because it's just a huge annoyance to me. But I do like to do the finances at the start of the year. All right, so let's get into the meat and potatoes, I guess, so to speak, of the new features. The big one, obviously, this year is coaches. So there's two ways to get into it. One is upgrading your team. You can click on the coaching staff. If you are without a coach and you're kind of shopping around, you can actually just go right to the contract section, and it's under hire staff. And this works for both scouts and coaches. So let's go into the coach section. So one of the cool things, each coach has its own profile, statistics, attributes, morale, scheme fit, team strategy, line strategy. So there's a lot going on in here. So you got offense, defense, power play, penalty kill, teaching, and coach influence. Those are kind of the 6 categories under attributes. So offense, defense, power play, and penalty kill all have direct impact to your gameplay and game simulations. Teaching can grow or stunt player development on the team via the player potential. So if your guy has great offense, defense, power play, penalty kill, your team is going to do well in gameplay and in the sim. But let's say his teaching is real bad, he's not going to be good for the up and coming players. Lastly, there is a coach influence attribute, and that ties into the growth of the other coaches. So having a head coach with a high influence will help grow the coaching staff faster. If we go into the morale tab, it's got very similar things going on that players do, a little bit different though. So the current morale status, he says he's happy, has no concerns. Overall morale, you got team performance, management, coaching staff, and player relationships. So there's a lot of different things your coach can be happy with. Best coaching chemistry, so that's the coach he works best with. Best player chemistry, and then low coaching chemistry. Next up, you got your statistics. So it's kind of cool. It shows your coach's record. Obviously, all these coaches are brand new. They're not real coaches, so all the records don't actually have anything in there. They're all set at 0. And then on the other side, you got awards one. So you got Stanley Cup, President's Trophy, Jack Adams, and Calder Cup, which is pretty cool. So you can actually, sign and kind of like develop coaches from the AHL up to the NHL, as well as players. The other big thing is scheme fit, which summarizes how well all the players fit on their current lines. These are based on the strategies that the coach has set up for their lineup, and each style each individual player likes to play, and their preferred position. So this is one of the main building blocks to the new line chemistry, which will be in the updated edit line screen that has a lot more info that kind of ties into the coach. Next up, you can kind of just have a quick overview of the team strategies, which is pretty dope, and then all of the line strategies. So if you guys watch the deep dive that EA did, it'll be a lot of the similar stuff. It got a lot of your line fit information, so the different kind of strategies that your coach has set in place, and whether or not it kind of like jives with your player or not. And then based on the line chemistry, you have actually like a overall boost, which is kind of cool. So if you didn't go into the coaching staff to find a new coach, you can actually go into the hire staff tab. And inside of here, it's just a list of all your coaches. So there's actually there's hire coaches and hire scouts. Scouts came out last year, so hopefully you're familiar with that. There's a lot going on with scouting, which is insane if you really want to get super in depth. But it's kind of cool on the R2, or I guess right trigger tab. You got different coach roles, so you can actually split it up by what kind of coach you want. I noticed this, which is kind of weird. AHL coach and then NHL assistant coach is kind of there. But based on your, you can see the staff slots at the bottom. You got a head coach, a associate coach, an assistant coach, and then a goalie coach. So associate kind of follows under head coach, assistant follows under him, and then your goalie coach kind of focuses on your goalie. Within that, though, there's teaching specialties, so that's kind of like their general focus. So there's different things like defenseman, forwards, generalist, veteran. There's goaltender coaches. It's pretty crazy, actually. But you can actually jive these guys into different roles. So let's say you like Malmstrom as a goalie coach, and his quality is AHL head coach. You could probably hire him as your goalie coach for your team. Or if you hit the tab, you can literally search for the different things. So it's pretty cool because if you have kind of like a defensive weakness, you could look at this guy, for instance, Manuel Ehrhoff, overall B role, assistant, NHL associate coach, career record, his age, salary, years wanted. So you got to manage your coaching budget as well. But the cool thing is you can actually interview guys before you hire them, which is pretty neat, I thought. So let's say we did want to hire a new defensive coach, and we again look at Ehrhoff. We want to go, okay, let's interview this dude. Let's see what he says. There's a new interview interaction that pops up. You get 4 questions to ask your coach, which is pretty cool. So it's just like, I want to thank you for taking time to meet with me. I hope I can answer your questions. So it's like contract, market, organization, or you can just end the interview, so you can just walk away if you really wanted. And then based on your kind of interaction, you can get better information for your guy. Let's ask him what kind of fan base he prefers. Devoted fan base. Okay, cool. And then how important is that? So he says, I will likely tune out the fans anyway, so ultimately I don't care. So he doesn't really care, actually. You know, he's a liar. You know. I guess our time's up. See you later, man. Thanks for the time. And then you'll get a pop-up that says fan base importance, unimportant, fan base type devoted. So it doesn't really matter. Team status importance important. So we know he wants to be part of a championship team. So we probably wouldn't go after him at all. One of the really cool new things, if I go in here, so our head coach is D. Mellenby. So if I go into his information, you can see that they actually have faces now. So Dan Mellenby looks like that. And if you go into gameplay, as you can see, that's our coach, and he's actually standing behind the bench. He's got a tan on his face, but he's been wearing gloves during the summer. I don't know. He might be a golfer. I guess that'd only be one hand, but he likes to wear gloves. He likes to keep his hands nice and fresh. Another really cool thing that they've added this year to trading is the trade finder. So if you go into upgrade your team and then browse down, you can actually click find trade, which saves a lot of time if you're trying to move dudes and find stuff that you want. So how about Mike Green? Would anybody give us a shot at Mike Green? There we go. We got 8 different trades, so you can see 1 of 8 trades. So for Mike Green, Boston Bruins would give us a first round in 2020. That's a pretty good draft pick. Second trade, Florida would give us a first round in 2020. Minnesota would also give us a first round. Nashville, here's a different one. A second rounder in 2020, a second rounder in 2021, and Bonino. Excellent. But no. What else? We got St. Louis, Alex Steen, a St. Louis first in 2020, and a 5th in 2020 as well. So that's actually a pretty good trade. And then Toronto, you got Zach Hyman. Toronto Maple Leafs second, Columbus Blue Jackets third. And then the last... Oh, wow, they actually sent us 2 different trades. I didn't know you could do that. That's neat. That's pretty cool. So Toronto actually sent us a second offer, which is their first round in 2021, so 2 years from now. And then thirdly, Winnipeg Jets offered the standard 2020 first rounder. I guess, I don't know why you would decline. You can just back out. Anyways, that's a pretty cool new feature. So for example, if you wanted to move a guy like Mike Green at the start of the season because he has 1 year left, you'll notice that as the season goes on towards the trade deadline, his value will actually decrease and get lesser because you'll see a lot of more rental players moving around at the deadline. Another thing you'll notice that wingers and defensemen are actually worth a lot less than centers, as are goalies. So for example, you can see Kuznetsov and Backstrom are not even 90s. John Carlson also not even a 90, but you can see that defenseman less trade value, and Ovechkin, who's a 92 as a winger, is actually less value. And then if you went to say goalies, you'll see that Holtby is actually worth a lot less value. And another cool little tidbit is actually you can sub in alumni teams and players into franchise modes. So for example, we put Wayne Gretzky on the Edmonton Oilers. He pops in as a 27-year-old. Any alumni players added turn into 27-year-olds. But it's still pretty neat to see the Great One playing along with the next one, I guess you could call next one. The other thing to do with contracts, you'll notice any junior players will actually be under exempt contracts. You can see it in the bottom right-ish. Bottom middle right, you can see contracts, exempt contracts. One of the other cool things is the pop-up conversations that happen now instead of the old morale conversation. So Coach Dan Mellenby has a new conversation concern. We need to call this player up. So let's see what he's talking about. Michael Rasmussen's played really well on the farm team. He needs to be called up. Ooh, you know what? I'm going to have to agree. So, good idea. I'll call him in the next few days. There we go. Excellent. 7 days. Yes, I agree. Excellent. So now I have 7 days to call him up. I have gained morale, and we will call up Michael Rasmussen. Alright, so we called up Michael Rasmussen. We get a coach conversation. That Dan Mellenby is very happy I kept my promise. Glad I could help. Oh, he says, excellent job on making the call up. I asked for him. Quite pleased. We say, I'm glad I could help. I only want what's best for the team. And we get an additional 5 morale. Yes. And here's what a trade alert looks like for blockbuster trades. So not really a blockbuster trade, but whatever. We got to Edmonton, Alec Martinez, and a 3rd round pick, and then to Los Angeles, Broberg and goalie Skinner. Looks pretty good. Feels nice. Edmonton acquires a defenseman, and we're going to move past it. Now we also have breaking news. The Nashville Predators have fired head coach James Austin. Dang, it sucks for James. So yeah, the other thing you'll see is coaching staff getting fired from other teams. When it comes to drafting and developing, there's a cool new recommendations by the scouts in the draft class screen. You can see scout recommendation. They kind of put stars by the players that they think you should pick per round. Another neat thing to note, now you actually see the draft lottery results with the original position and their new position. So if you go through, you can see that Vegas jumped from 5th to 1st. Ottawa was actually supposed to be 1st, now they're 2nd, and New Jersey dropped from 2nd to 3rd. When you get into the end of the season and into the draft phase, you'll see that now there is a retirement slot. You can actually see what date is the retirement date, what date is draft interviews, and then what day is the draft. After you see the list of player retirements, there's actually a list of coach retirements, which is kind of interesting to see. I mean, they're all fictional, but it'll be cool as your franchise moves on. And then the other neat thing, retired players that are now a scout. So I think this was added last year. So there's a list of players who have retired. So like Andy Green and Marian Gaborik, who are now a scout. There's also going to be a list of players who've turned into coaches as well. So the new other new feature, draft interviews. So you have a day to conduct pre-draft interviews with prospects to uncover more scouting information. So if we go into the view draft class, we can look at all these guys. So we actually don't have a whole lot of information on the players that we're supposed to be drafting. Let's say we want to talk to one of the guys we haven't really scouted a whole lot. We don't really know much about this guy, Cole Perfetti, and Anton Lundell. So let's just talk to Lundell, see if we can uncover his potential. So we'll go into interview. Let's talk about his play style. Chat about my playing style. So let's see, readiness, play style. Let's talk about his readiness. How ready do you think you are to play in the NHL? There's still some work to do on my game. I'm a couple years away from a competitive NHL job. Oof. Okay, alright. How about a breakdown of how you play on the ice? Feels he's competent at both ends of the ice. Okay. Alright, that's neat. Let's talk about his skills here. I just want to know about his strengths. Let's just see. Okay, so you can score from his own end as well. Wow, okay. That's, boastful. I mean, two players that think they can score from their own end, but, whatever. So yeah, NHL ETA 2 years. So 2 years from now, he thinks he can play in the NHL. So now we've actually uncovered a little bit more information. We can't interview him again, but it says that we have 2 bars in he's an elite medium potential. We're not too sure if that's actually true or not, but it's pretty inaccurate based on our conversation. All right, so there's a lot of cool new features in franchise mode. I'm pretty excited. Let's see if we can get Vegas' first round pick while we wrap this up. There's definitely a lot of cool underside things that are in the blog and the deep dive video. If you guys want to just kind of check it out a little more. Yeah, I'm very excited. Once again, I usually do YouTube franchise mode, but I kind of want to change it up this year. So the plan for me is to do it on Twitch. No trades. There's nothing? Oh man, that sucks. Darn it. But yeah, so I want to be able to stream franchise and have more of a live interaction with you guys. I'm just gonna auto draft here. So that's a plan, and then I'll still post them on YouTube. Afterwards, there is like a 24-hour kind of like rule with affiliate status. So yeah, basically I'll stream it. A day later, I'll put it up on YouTube. I'm gonna cut it up and we'll spread it out over a few days. My voice is cracking because I'm tired. And yeah, so very excited for franchise mode. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like. If you're new to the channel or have been away from the channel, please hit the subscribe. And yeah, I'm super pumped for this game. Just franchise looks great. Gameplay feels great. It actually feels really good. A lot of cool new stuff going on. Some great icons, or legends, or alumni, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, that's it for me. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk to you later. All right? Thanks for watching, guys.